Where is everybody?
Right? Where is everybody? I don't know. Well, so Lori messaged and said she wasn't going to be able to make it. Um, Not to give too much detail, but her mother is been released from the hospital. Things are looking better, but she's, with her mom. So
That's
I
good.
told her we're sending her all of the good healing vibes and
Oh, bless her.
juju,
Yeah.
and that she will be missed and that I will get the recording out. Alex is out living her best life, just focused on her and doing
I
her.
did ask her yesterday. I said because we messaged and I said, "Oh, are you going to join the group?" But she's read it but didn't respond. So I'm assuming she's just mega busy.
Yeah, no,
Um,
she's been very busy, been very focused on like her and like mental health and just doing what is right for her in the
I think
moment.
she's in a good place at the minute. She was saying to me she's feeling on the up, which is
Oh
great.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she definitely has. Her and I haven't exchanged any voice notes recently. I need to send her one. But yeah, she's doing awesome. So, and then some of the other ladies are just busy. Like one lady is moving, and another person is just dealing with some pet issues, which is really sad. So they found out their doggy has cancer, and
Oh
so,
no.
you know, life happens, life gets in the way, and so that's why I record these, and so we can send them out. So
Yes.
maybe some other people will join, maybe they won't. If not, maybe they'll listen to the recording and they'll get a little motivation. So I would love to hear from the two of you. How did last month's challenge? Well, we're not done. We've still got, like 5 days left of the month, 4 days left of the month, however many days, 30 or 31 days. I don't know. Um, so a few days left. How are you guys doing with the 10,000 steps a day with 2 miles of those steps being outside? I know Jen is like always getting her steps outside. But
Jen's passionate.
I threw the little extra, oh, there's something pokey on my floor. I threw the extra thing out there for Jen you know, to kind of give her the extra motivation because I'm like, well, you get 10,000 steps a day. You do, 3 miles every day outside. What is the extra? And so the extra for her or for anybody who wanted to do it was to make, 1 to 2 of those days steady state cardio. And so at first Jen was like, I'm gonna go balls to the walls and I'm gonna do all of them that way. And I'm like, nope, slow it down, lady. Let's not stress our body out. So I would love to hear from both of you, whoever would like to go first. Jen, I don't know if you know where like your signal is the best, if right now is a good time to chat, or if you want to wait until after Diane, you let us know since you're out on the move and not
No,
necessarily.
I'm fine. I just crossed the street. A big truck just went by, so I'm back
Yeah,
on the towpath. So no more traffic. But
good.
yeah, no, I mean, I hit every day except for one, and that one day was I was in airports for 12 hours. So I got out for a mile walk and still got my steps, but they weren't all outside, sadly.
Yeah, when you're stuck
Um,
inside of an airport, like, yeah, you can get your steps, but it's like, do you really want to go out of security and then walk around an air, like, where is there to walk around an airport other than the parking lot, right? Like, that's not fun. So love that you got your steps. 12 hours
yeah,
indoors where you physically can't go outside without going through metal detectors makes sense.
yeah,
So I call
and
that
then
a freaking win.
yeah. And then what I've been doing, because Monday is my rest day from the gym, I've been getting up and going for like a 2 mile run on Mondays. So that's been fine. I mean, it's surprising me that when we did that challenge last year where we were supposed to run a mile a day, I could barely do it. And I could do 2 miles like once a week now. The first week I was feeling so good and it was like cool temperatures.
Yep.
So like you said, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go for a run. And it was when I was doing that first week, I was doing more like open gym at the gym.
Yep.
So I would just get up early and go, and then I would go to the gym and lift later.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, well, I'm going to be starting back to work. So let me get back in the class schedule.
Mhm.
And so Monday's just my good day to go.
Nice.
So
So are you running? Are you doing steady state? What does that run look like for you?
so the run is basically between 10 and a half and 11 and a half,
Okay.
you know, miles per hour, not miles per
And
hour.
do you know what your average heart rate is for that?
Um, it was probably going up to maybe 145 or so.
Okay. So that is a little quick, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit in one of our voice notes that we shared or emails that we shared. So for anybody listening, when it comes to steady state, like I asked her speed specifically because everybody has different speeds in terms of like their running capabilities. Some people are really quick and you can do like 6-7 minute miles, which is freaking fantastic. Some people are really slow and their, running or jogging mile can be like 15 or 16 minutes. And so from a steady state cardio aspect, everybody's minutes can be a little bit different. For me, mine is definitely not at a 10.5. That is pretty quick for me. For others, that might be really fast for them. So I just wanted to like give a little bit more information about steady state because that is in some of my training programmings where I'm like, hey, go do 20 minutes, do 30 minutes, do 35 minutes of steady state cardio. So to kind of talk about steady state cardio a little bit more, to make sure that you're not overdoing the cardio with steady state, doing things too fast or getting too winded or not being able to actually maintain the level of effort throughout the entire time. Steady state cardio should be able to be done where you're able to hold a conversation during the entire length of that steady state cardio, whether it's a 10.5 minute run or a 15-minute mile, whatever that is. If it's, I'm telling you to do 20 minutes, or I'm telling you to do 30 minutes, or I'm telling you to do 40 minutes, or I'm telling you to do 2 miles, that entire time, you should be able to have a conversation. You might be a little bit winded during that conversation, but you should be able to hold a conversation. So when you are out doing steady state cardio activities, think and ask yourself, can I talk to, if there was somebody next to me, would I be able to hold a conversation with them? Or would I find it very difficult? If it's very difficult and you're able to get a couple of words out and you're able to like answer questions, that's not necessarily a conversation. You should be able to talk like this. So for most people, steady state cardio heart rates are typically going to be between like 110 to maybe 130 beats per minute. More than that tends to be a little bit more than steady state. And so I just want to make sure that everybody understands what steady state cardio means. It's really being able from the very beginning to the very end, be able to give the exact same amount of effort without getting to the end of whatever that recommendation is, whether it's a mile or 2 miles or 15 minutes or 25 minutes. You shouldn't get to the end and feel like, oh, thank God that's over. Now you might be like, thank God that's over because I don't like doing that, but not, oh, all right, I'm done. I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
And I
was
anymore. So, everybody's
totally
body
fine.
is a little bit different. Yeah. And everybody's body's a little bit different, but I wanted to hear from you, like, what was your steady state cardio feeling? For me, for everybody, it is a little bit different. And some people's heart rates go a little bit faster than others. And some people's heart rates do kind of in resting stay a little bit lower. Like my resting heart rate's like 55. So for me, 120 is more than double my resting heart rate. And so that can be harder for me to be able to hold a conversation. So the conversation thing is the trigger. If you're able to kind of talk like this, maybe I'm breathing a little bit heavier. If I'm able to have this type of, maybe it's a little slower too. Maybe I'm talking like this and I might be breathing a little bit more, but I'm able to have that conversation. That is when you know you're in that steady state cardio zone. Once you go beyond that, the reason I say not to go beyond that is because one, it adds a little bit too much stress to your body, but two, it changes what your body is burning in terms of fats or burning carbs. When you are in that steady state zone, you're burning a little bit of both at the same time. So it's using fats and carbs for fuel. When you're going slower, you're burning mostly fat. When you're going faster, you're burning mostly carbs. And so it's kind of staying in that zone to use both of those for fuel. So that is the quick explanation of steady state cardio, just so, we had that bit in this challenge, but also it is in the Trainerize app. Every now and then I throw in some like, do steady state for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And it's, any workout that you choose when we're doing the steady state, whether that's going out for a jog or riding a bike or doing a rowing machine or the stair climber or the elliptical, that's what it is. So think about being able to have that conversation. Anything else you want to toss in there about the challenge this month, Jen?
No, I mean, we've had great spring weather here in New Jersey, so getting out and getting steps in has been pretty simple to do. I mean, it's been chilly this week, but that doesn't, you know, cold doesn't faze me. I do this 365 pretty much no matter what. So
Yeah, I
it's
figured
just,
for
it's just what
most
I do.
Yeah, I figured for most people, this was kind of the perfect time of year. I have a lot of clients that are, kind of in the Northeast, but I do have, like Selma and a few are in like Selma is in Texas, Jasmine is in Arizona. And so it gets really hot there after April. So I was like, let's do this in April. And then here it gets really rainy in May. And so I really have to be strategic to get my steps in the month of May. And so I figured April was the perfect time for this. And so you and I, Jen, we have very, very similar weather. So, might be a few degrees cooler up there, but as long as it's not snow, like here, snow skips us. It's kind of funny. You guys might get plenty of snow, but we get skipped. There's something about the mountains and then the water, and it just skips us. Diane, how did you do with the challenge? What did you think? Did you throw in any steady state cardio days? Did you do all walking? What did you do?
I didn't hit every day at 10,000 steps. I just didn't. I didn't do it. At the weekend, I did loads on Saturday because we had some friends staying, and I took my friend out for a walk, and I normally go on my own. So it was talking about being able to speak. She started off walking, and I was like, come on, we're going too slowly. So I made her march like I march, because I said it's got to be purposeful, else it's a complete waste of time if we're just dawdling along. And she said, oh my God, you walk so fast. I was like, yes, because it's a proper thing. I'm not just going around the shops, I'm going for a proper walk.
Yep.
So I was able to talk, and she was going, I'm finding it really hard to talk as we're going along. So it was quite interesting on her part, but it was good fun still. I enjoyed it. I was able to have a conversation. I have done nearly 10,000 steps. Some days I might have done it, other days I'm not quite at there, but I've been going out in my lunch hour for it's about 1.8 miles or something like that. I think 1.75 mile walk in my lunch hour.
I love that.
And I'm going out when I work at home, which is Wednesday to Friday, and then obviously Saturday, Sunday too. I like to go out before work, so I've been doing that. This morning I think it's nearly 3 miles, because I was out and I thought, oh, I've got time to do my longer walk today. So I just got back in time before work started, so that was quite nice. I quite enjoyed that.
Nice. I love that. And I love that you did a walk with some friends and you're able to see like what your capability is versus
all the girls at work say I go too fast. They won't come with me because I'm walking too quick for them. And I don't see the point of it if you're not going to get any benefit from doing it. If you're just going, like I said, if you're going to just dawdle along, there's no purpose to it. There's no point doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's still purpose to doing it. So like general movement is so important. So there is still purpose, even if it is slow. But I get your point. I get your feeling of like, well, I want to do it and like feel like I got something accomplished, right? And I have days where my walks are kind of dawdled along because I'm dicking around trying to wrap, work up on social media. Like I need to post my post for the day. Walking like this, and I get people, hey, look up, lady. And I'm like, but I'm busy. I've had too much to do today, and I'm walking and working, right? And so those days I'm dawdling along and it's 25-minute miles, right? Like that's a slow mile. But if I'm focused and in it, and I'm like, I'm out for a walk and I've just got my music in or my podcast in, like my walking speed is between like 16 and 18 miles or 16 18 minutes a mile.
I think I did good today. Let me just check. I did a fast one today. It was the same walk I did with my friend. Where is it? Yes, same walk I did with my friend at the weekend. But at the weekend we did 16.7 was our pace, but today mine was 15.31.
Yeah, so pretty quick. Quick. Yeah, so those are pretty quick, and they don't necessarily need to be super fast. Movement is movement, and movement is the important part of it. So we don't want to go too fast that it's like a true workout, because then we're adding the extra stress. And we don't want to go too slow that we're like, okay, it took me forever to get this far, right? Like when I'm thinking around on my phone, getting my steps, it's just because I'm wanting to be outside, and I'm like, give me away from my computer.
Yeah.
I can do this on the move, right? Like, let me get out there and do this on the move. So, but I love that you invited friends along, and, you know, keep doing that, because the more that you're able to do that with friends, the more you're kind of able to like inspire them to do the same thing. And like,
Yeah.
you know, not that they're going to like change their habits because they went on 1 or 2 walks with you, but, you know, when I used to live, well, here, 45 minutes from here, when I lived in Arlington before my girlfriend moved to New York, she saw me walking every day, like, because I posted on social media, and she's like, can I just join you for a couple of your walks? And it turned into, she started coming on all of my walks with me. And it was a great time to just kind of like put my phone down, catch up with her. Yeah, my walks were a little bit slower, but it was nice to have somebody there. And she was the perfect person. Like, there are certain women, or not, I don't want to say women, certain people that you're like, I don't want to spend an hour with them every day walking, right? But she's like, find that person that you're like, yeah, I could spend that hour with you every single day, because it's nice to actually disconnect and not be like, let me be on a Zoom call, or let me do some social media posts, or post my reel for the day, or whatever it is. It's nice to truly disconnect.
Oh,
And Jen,
eating
you
and
always
the
got
doggy
dog and
there.
the
This is
husband
who I
out
look.
there.
Hi.
My
He's
walking
like, I'm
people
on the
that I
Zoom
walk
call
with
with the
every
dog
day.
and the husband.
Ah, that's lovely.
The husband and the dog.
I
love
always
it.
ask Steve to come, and he says, "Oh no," because he'd rather walk for 4 hours around the golf course. So that's fair enough.
Okay, he's getting his steps in. I ask Lauren all the time too, and his response is, everything hurts and I'm dying. He goes to CrossFit early in the morning. Like, he leaves at like 5:45 to go to CrossFit. He's like, I just need to get it done in the morning and just out of the way.
I
And so,
prefer morning stuff.
yeah, but he does like to go for walks, but because he really pushes himself at CrossFit, and he's had 3 knee surgeries and whatever else, he's just like, everything hurts and I'm dying. I've gotten my exercise in for the day. So I go and do it by myself. From time to time, he'll join me. I wish he joined me more, but his job, he talks so much for his job. Like, he is on the phone and in meetings literally all day. So to be like, you want to come on a walk with me so we can chat some more? He's like,
No.
he's like, no, I'm going to shut my mouth for the next hour while you're out on your walk, and I'm not going to say or listen to anybody. So me getting out of the house for my hour walk every day is like a break for him. Well, so for me, in terms of the challenge, I've hit 10,000 steps every day except for one, and that one day was Easter Sunday, and it was because I was stuck in the car for 4 hours, and then we were at Lauren's family's house and we were celebrating Easter, and his family is not the healthiest or the mobilest, and so when we're there, we don't do anything. Like, we're there, we're just sitting around, we're eating, we're talking, we're doing nothing. And so the 2-hour drive there, the 2-hour drive back, whatever else I had going on that day, that is the only day that I didn't get it. I did only do 2 of the steady state cardio days, simply because of like how my day was planned out. So that is how it worked for me every day except for one so far. It's supposed to be super rainy these next couple of days, so
We've
hopefully
had a
I'm
lot
still
of
able
rain
to get my 2 miles in outside for the rest of this month. But that is how it worked out for me. So
I had a day on Easter Saturday. I had my niece to look after, and she's 3. And I ran around a lot.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids keep you entertained.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So I don't know where she gets her energy from. She's just like here, there, and everywhere. And she's like, Auntie, let's go to the park. Auntie, let's play in the garden. Let's decorate some cookies, Auntie. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this stuff we have to do.
I love that. And it's so funny too, because a lot of my clients have children. Most of my clients are, you know, in the age of where their children are like graduating college or high school, like they're older children. But and so like I look at that, and, you know, those clients are between like 40 and like 55, right? And I've got friends who are the same age or slightly older than me that are just now having babies.
Like my sister's hers too.
And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are going to be 50 chasing toddlers around. And it's not like they like didn't have, or they had kids and now they're on like their second wave. They just never had the children. And now they're 40 to 45 popping out their first kid. And I'm like, you guys are going to be running kids around to soccer games and baseball games and gymnastics and ballet and like all the other things at 55 years old. So why don't you guys start eating healthier and working out with me and like make sure you can actually do those things? Because I
My
couldn't.
sister's realised that. She'd like, it's so tiring. She says, I'm so tired all the time because she's what, 4 times 6, 7, 8, 9. But she's 44.
Mhm.
And she has a 3-year-old. So it's just like she really plays her up as well. But when she's with me, she's really good. And she does what she's told.
Yep.
But she really runs my sister ragged.
Yep. Tell her she needs to just focus on herself a little bit, make some time for
Yeah.
herself, make sure she's eating right and trying to get some
She
work
doesn't
done.
exercise, but I made her do some star jumps the other day because she felt really down and fed up. And I said, go and do 20 star jumps in the kitchen and film it. And I thought she's never going to do it. And next thing, this video comes through and she's like, right, I'm doing my star jumps because you've asked me to, so I'm filming it. And she's did all these star jumps. I was like, oh my God. And she's done them every day since.
I
And
love
her little
that.
girl has joined in as well. Yeah, I'm like, this
I
is brilliant. She tried to get people at work to do it yesterday, but no one was interested. So she just did them on her own.
I love that. I mean, literally 2 minutes of movement doing
Yeah.
some star jumps can change your energy.
Yeah, lifted her mood, made her
Oh.
happier.
Yep. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Star jumps, not something I
Yeah.
would ever tell someone to go do, but I
Yeah.
freaking love it.
Don't do 20 star jumps. Go on.
Go do 20 star jumps. Well, I told Jen my trick when, because I haven't had to do an interview in like 6 years or whatever. But before, when I first was starting like these coaching calls, I was so anxious before these calls because like, you never know, are people going to show up? Are people going to listen? Are they going to
Yeah.
be interested? But like even with interviews, before an interview, I would run to the bathroom and like do a couple jumping jacks just to relieve some of like that anxious energy. And I told Jen, I don't know if you're an anxious person before interviews, but go do some jumping jacks, take some deep breaths, and like go crush your interviews. Like
Oh.
it's amazing how much like just a little bit of movement can change
Yeah, it just helps, doesn't it?
energy and just like release some of that anxiousness and just like it changes everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does. It's good.
All right. So are you guys ready for the next month's challenge?
Yeah.
All right. So the next month's challenge is similar to that energy balance. It's similar to, paying attention to like our mindfulness and paying attention to recovery. And so all of us are always too damn busy. We plan our entire day from the time we wake up to the time we sleep, and we never actually plan breaks. And so with that, we end up just like sitting in front of the computer, plowing through work for 3 or 4 hours before we know that we're like, well, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get a snack. I need to like step away from my computer. And so for the month of May, for all 31 days, more geared towards the work day. Weekends, we tend to be a little bit more flexible. We're not typically just sitting in front of a computer plowing through work on the weekend, but we might be just snoozing on the couch for a long time. So like even on the weekends, think about it, but this is more geared towards the work week where we feel like we just need to like push to get through to the next project. We need to keep working. The goal is to be taking 10-minute breaks every 90 to 120 minutes. And those 10-minute breaks need to be completely away from your computer, not doing anything work related. So go for a quick 10-minute walk, go listen to some music, go sit down and meditate. If you work in an office, go walk around the office and mingle with some of your coworkers, go to the bathroom, get a snack, listen to a podcast, do anything other than your work. Take your dog for a walk, go play with some kids, go hang out with your partner, go do something other than the task in front of you. And you might be like, but Jen, I've got to get this work done. I don't have time to take 10 minutes. If I take 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes wasted. However, when you come back from that 10 minutes, you're going to be refocused, you're going to be re-energized, and the next 90 to 120 minutes, you're going to get more done than you would have gotten done had you just pushed yourself to continue working. It's also going to help you enjoy what you're doing even more because you're going to get more breaks with your enjoyment activity. So like if you're working on a mundane project at work that you're just like, oh, I just need to get this done. By taking those breaks every 90 to 120 minutes, when you come back, you're going to feel more joyful. It's like doing the 10 star jumps. It's like it changes your energy. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to help you to be more focused, and it's going to help you just enjoy the thing. Actually, there's a book that I probably showed you guys before. It's The Power of Full Engagement. And so it interviews a couple of different people who were so focused on work, so focused on the things that they just had to get done, that they were completely removed from their life. Like they weren't spending as much time with their kids. They weren't spending as much time with their spouse. They were coming home from work. They were angry. They were upset. They weren't putting things into their life that helped them recover and help them actually enjoy their life. And so by these doctors telling them, you need to be taking 10-minute breaks, 15-minute breaks every 90 minutes and doing things that bring you joy, bring you satisfaction. As stressful as the work is, doing the exact same jobs, the exact same amount of work, by putting those little breaks in, they found so much more enjoyment in their life. And they found that they were making more time for the things that they like to do, whether that be golfing or hanging out with their kids or hanging out with their spouse, whatever it was, they were able to make more time for that because taking those breaks. And then work wasn't so stressful. Life wasn't so stressful. Like it changed their lives. So I really, really, especially like during the work week, when we are just so busy, we're, running kids around, we're focused on our job, we're staring at a computer for hours, and the only breaks we take are to go to the bathroom and to have lunch, right? Like that tends to be the work schedule. Like Jen does her like hour lunch break outside, but between that, currently not with that working schedule, but before that, you've got like 3 to 4 hours before that lunch break. You got 3 to 4 hours after that lunch break, where we need to make sure that we're squeezing in some little breaks in between there just to help us energize. Love the hour lunch break walk because you come back from that completely re-energized, but we still need those couple of other breaks in the morning and in the evening, depending on how many more hours you have left in your day. So specific to the work day, I say 31 days of scheduled breaks, but again, unless you're working on the weekends or you're just kind of not moving or you're doing something kind of mundane on the weekends, you don't necessarily need to worry about the scheduled breaks then. But Monday through Friday, when we're working, let's plan to have those 10-minute breaks. Like I said, every 90 to 120 minutes to do something completely unrelated to whatever project you are working on, and picking something that's actually going to bring you joy and satisfaction, like going for a walk, listening to music, listening to a podcast, go for a walk around your office, mingle with your coworkers, mingle with people at work, mingle with your boss, instead of just being in your cube or in your office, just typing away. Like I am the most antisocial person in the world when I go into the office. I'm like, I'm here. I don't even want to be in this office. I'm just here to do my thing. Right. Like, I don't need to talk to you guys that. I'm like a party of one with what I do. I'm the only person in operations that works for my corporate job. Everybody else is in development or in marketing or in whatever. I am a party of one. I'm the only person in my group. And so like, I don't even know half the people that do these. So this is going to force me, when I do go into the office once a week, to like get to know other people. And I'm sure there are people where you guys work, or especially Jen, especially if she starts going into the office when she starts a new job, she's not going to know anybody. So it'll force you guys to, just get up and move a little bit more. So think about that. What questions do you guys have in terms of taking those breaks? What are your thoughts about those breaks? And is there anything specific that you think you might do during those breaks, whether you're working from home or working from an office?
When I'm in the office, I kind of more so than at home, because when I'm in the office, I section my day. I have to, because else I think, oh my God, I'm here for like 7-8 hours. So I kind of, every hour and a half, every 2 hours, I make sure I get up and go to the loo. I go and make a drink and stand up, because else I'm sitting down too much. And when I do stand up, I really feel that I've been sitting down all that time. So I kind of do that anyway. But when I'm at home, I do it more, because I'm like, right, I'm going to go and put the dishwasher on. I'm going to put some washing out. Now I don't want to do what I'm doing now. So I'll go and run the Hoover round, or, just things like that. So I make sure that I do that movement kind of automatically anyway, because I just don't like sitting down all the time.
I'm the same way, hence loving, the standing desk. I just got back from the gym 15 minutes before this call. And I'm like,
Oh,
getting set up. Let me
um,
stand at my desk. It's time for
yeah.
that to happen.
My colleague's got a standing desk at work because he had a really bad back. He had a back injury. So he's now got this standing up desk, which is really cool. So I find I do stand up a little bit more. I can't actually do my work because I've got like this tablet and I use a pen and I draw on it instead of using the mouse.
Yep.
So that's a little bit more tricky. But yeah, I do find when he's there, if I'm standing up and stuff a bit more because he is. So yeah, we have standing meetings at work as well. They don't like to sit down. So any meetings they have, they make them standing ones so that we're not in there so long. So that's a bonus too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've not heard of standing meetings.
Yeah.
I freaking love that.
Yeah. Unless they're really in-depth ones and there's lots of charts and stuff to look at on the screen, but I'm not normally involved in those. But yeah, most of the meetings we have will be just a standing meeting and it'll be 10 minutes.
Nice.
Doesn't take too long. So
nice. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen? I mean, no, currently not having like the 9 to 5. What are your thoughts on the breaks every 90 to 120 minutes, 10-minute breaks to focus on something other than work?
Yeah, I can't even go there because I haven't worked in 2 months. So,
well,
I mean, the job that I'm supposed to be starting is 100% remote, so I'll just be home. So I'll probably just continue the same stuff I'm doing. I mean, we generally take the dog for a morning walk and then the lunchtime walk, and then afternoon, usually make my snack, so that'll take up time. So that should get through, through the day, I would think.
Well, just think about it this month, like I said, you obviously know you're not working, but just think about it and be like, it's been 90 minutes. What have I done for myself in the last 90 minutes? And not just like health related in terms of making snacks or, feeling like you need to go for a walk, but like, what are you doing that's recharging you, that gives you more energy? Like going to the kitchen and making a snack. Sure, the food gives you energy, but the actual process doesn't necessarily. You're like, I have to do this to enjoy my snack, right? So, and sure, you might like cooking. I love cooking, but at the same time, it's also a chore. So think about it throughout the month. And if you find something where you're like, you know what, Jen was right, I am just kind of doing the normal things, but I'm not taking true breaks for me to do something that actually energizes me versus just something I'm used to doing. Like we all have our normal day-to-day schedules. We wake up, we wash our face, brush our teeth, we make some breakfast, we do the thing. Like all of those things are just normal, but truly thinking about taking a real break from whatever it is that we're working on, whatever it is that we're doing, and do something that is specifically for us and for mental health and less for like the health and fitness aspect side of things. So that's where I'd like it to be, is more that like mental health, regenerizing your energy and not thinking about it from like, am I doing healthy things? Am I doing weight loss things? Am I doing exercise things? But that's why it was like, listening to the music, doing the meditate, listen to a podcast, go talk to a friend, phone a family member, use those 10 minutes as time to catch up with people. And that was actually one of the things that was in the book. It was like, it's one of the people like hadn't talked to anybody other than their coworkers and their like family at home in like 6 months. And so every day he would use 10 minutes of his day to phone a friend or phone a family member and have like a real conversation more than just a text message or an email. So it is an awesome book. If you guys haven't read it, it's like super inspiring and super interesting. So powerful engagement. I refer it all the time because it's really a good book. All right, so that is it for the challenge. So unless you guys have any questions about the challenge, I will open it up to questions about anything else. Jen, we are working through a moderation time period. Diane, we are wrapping up your deficit, about to move into a reverse and then into a maintenance, which I love what your husband's little nickname is for you. Her husband calls her the ever
disappearing wife.
Yeah, his disappearing wife, because she's lost like 20 pounds almost. So like it's freaking awesome. But yeah, so any questions about your particular nutritional standpoint, where you're at with your goals, where we're at in terms of coaching. Any questions you guys have for me, you've got me.
Oh, I don't know now.
Got you on the spot. You know,
Yeah.
you hear from me every week, so it's not surprising there's no questions, and we've been working together for a while. So if you guys think of them, you guys know how to message me, email or through the app. It all works. So, all right, ladies. Well, then I will let Jen enjoy the rest of her walk with her husband and dog. And Diane, you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you
Yeah,
both.
and you. It's nice to see you both.
All right.
You
Talk
too.
to you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye now.